It's time to talk about your money here on GMQC at 11. Over the past couple of years, Illinois lawmakers have proposed adding financial literacy education to each high school in the state. The proposal includes instructional behavioral economics, banking, bills, investing, managing credit, and paying for college, and could help students learn about insurance, taxes, budgeting, home ownership, and financing for personal transportation. Joining us to help sort through these ideas is Dave Elizondo and Drew Campman from True Financial Partners Bettendorf. Good morning, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Good to see you.
So our first question is, what are your initial thoughts about something like this for high school students?
This is a welcome curriculum to the high school curriculum. I think this is important and it's vital to teach these basic skills and concepts. Because if you think about those that are graduating from high school that are either entering the workforce or they're going to college, there's a real lack of preparedness with financial knowledge and the basic understanding of concepts to make sound financial decisions. So I think this is an important step in the right direction for the curriculum in high school.
And why is financial literacy so important to young people, especially in high school, who are literally about to go out to the real world for the first time by themselves?
I mean, teenagers, young adults, they can really consume a lot of information. I mean, you look at our children, I have young children, and technology. I mean, they grasp technology so quickly. And I think if we start this concept and this education in a younger generation, it's going to empower them to make those good financial decisions down the road. And then unfortunately, just like simple things, balancing a checkbook, managing debt, those are all things that a lot of these students that are graduating high school, even graduating college, that just don't have those skills. So it's really important that we start this with young adults and young kids and teenagers in high school, I think.
Well, and it's just like what we talked about when we were here the last time. That we talked about developing good habits and developing bad habits. And financially speaking, whatever habits you develop early on are probably the habits that you're going to continue for the rest of your life. So it's really important when you're younger to start thinking about the proper financial management, if you will, and learning as much as you can so that you can develop good habits and be more successful financially.
So instill it at a younger age.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And as it stands, this would be a one-semester course. Is it better to spread it out over several years of education, or would one semester be enough for students?
Well, obviously, when it comes to financial matters, you can never learn too much. And so obviously more would be better than less. But let's put this into proper perspective. I mean, if you think about just one semester, you're in class 1 hour a day on the financial topic, or in the financial class, 1 hour a day, 3 to 5 days a week. Well, you multiply that by 4 months, you're talking about 50 to 60 hours of financial education. And that's more financial education than most adults get during their entire lifetime. So if it's just one semester, it's very valuable.
I think it's a great start. But going back even, or taking that a little further, think about how many financial decisions we make on a day-to-day basis. We make multiple. So to condense that into one semester, I think is a great start, but I think it could be expanded even more so, maybe all through high school, have more of an education program or curriculum that's going to be spread out so that people can consume that knowledge at a greater level.
Yeah, and you think about it also when you're graduating from high school, you're either going to go into the workforce or you're going to go to college. And college usually includes a lot of debt, unless you're fortunate enough to have someone pay for it. But for most people, they're going to incur a lot of debt. Well, they always talk about how easy it is, and they make it real simple to get the debt for college, but they don't spend much time talking about paying it back over your lifetime.
And the bill has like about 8 different topics they want to talk about. Do you think one semester would be enough to go in detail about all those topics?
I think it's a great start, but I think it'd be better if you started maybe at a younger age, maybe even as a freshman or a ninth grader, and utilize maybe a quarter every year to really condense, or I should expand on that knowledge base, because you're going to always consume it at a better level when it's spread over more time versus all condensed into one.
Well, and then you add to that, like when Nina first brought it up, all the different financial topics that you can, that you even listed, and there's hundreds more. So if you took it over a long period of time, 3 or 4 years, you're going to get a lot more education on all the different topics that are out there.
And the topics themselves, a lot of them are definitions, basic concepts, but then you also get into like financial planning. It's also based on values. So there's more than just definitions applied to financial planning. It's all about how your attitude is towards money, values. So if you could expand on that more so than just the facts and the topics, expand on how you feel about money, because those are important decisions, or a big part of the decision-making process when you're making financial decisions.
And I have kind of a more personal question for you too. I mean, I know you guys are finance experts, but you guys majored in that and studied that most of your lives. I mean, for your peers who aren't in that kind of thing, do you feel like they were a little bit left behind from not having these courses growing up?
Well, I think the problem is that a lot of people think that money is just about income coming in and expenses going out. And financial matters are much more complicated than that. So I think it's important to learn more about money. And if you look around, the most successful people in our country are typically the people that know the most about money. And so I would just suggest go learn as much as you can about money, because it's a lot more complicated than just money coming in and money going out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And if you guys could add anything to this literacy proposal, what would it be?
It would be, I would expand on it again, go back to, I think it's extremely important to expand that out over a longer period of time so people can consume that, or the students can consume more of it, versus a shorter period of time, and it's kind of like drinking a lot of information from a fire hose that you don't always digest really well. So I would just say expand it out over the entire high school period.
Yeah, and if someone gets a taste of it in high school, then hopefully they're going to want to get more education in college and maybe take more financial classes in college. So it's just starting a great habit.
It's a win-win proposition,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
And we all know this is a bill right now. This isn't implemented at all. For students who are currently in high school, are there any, I guess, advice or ways they could learn themselves until this may become a law?
There's a lot of tools today that weren't available a long time ago, and again, it goes back to technology. And again, you can consume a lot of that, definitions, all the terminology and such, but like Dave said, I think you should seek out advice from people how to apply all of those definitions, those concepts to your own financial situation. So I would encourage people to use the technology and the tools that are available.
Especially the technology side, because young people or even adults spend hours and hours and hours on their phone, hours and hours on their phone, too many hours. Well, maybe spend a little bit of time just looking up some financial things instead of whatever else you're looking at, and start maybe adding in a little bit of that financial education along the way.
Great. Well, some great insight, you two. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And we will be right back.